On today's Prophecy in the News, Gary Stearman and I are going to look at the ancient book of Enoch.
Now, this is quite a discovery. Fragments of a biblical scroll, along with other relics, have been found in Desert Cave.
The scriptures of Enoch contain his words and the blessings he bestowed upon the chosen and righteous. Enoch, a man of great virtue whose eyes were opened by God, received these revelations. While it was once believed that only one book of Enoch existed, recent discoveries have challenged this belief. The book of Enoch was not just meant for his own time, but was intended for future generations. What mysteries does it reveal? Are we approaching the prophesied end times? Join us as we explore the recent discovery of 2 additional books of Enoch, which reveal texts that might stir fear. Enoch, the 7th patriarch mentioned in the book of Genesis, was the focus of extensive apocryphal literature, particularly during the Hellenistic period of Judaism, from the 3rd century BC to the 3rd century AD. Initially revered for his piety, Enoch was later believed to have received secret knowledge from God. This image of Enoch as a visionary was influenced by the Babylonian tradition of the 7th antediluvian king, Enmendirana, who was associated with the sun god and received divine revelations. The story of Enoch mirrors many aspects of this Babylonian myth, and this is what the first book of Enoch includes. The Holy Great One will emerge from his dwelling, and the eternal God will walk upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai. He will appear from his camp and show his mighty strength from the heavens. All will be struck with fear, the watchers will tremble, and great fear and trembling will grip them across the earth. The high mountains will shake, the lofty hills will be brought low, and they will melt like wax before a flame. And the earth will be completely torn apart, and everything on it will perish, and judgment will come upon everyone. But with the righteous, he will make peace. He will protect the chosen, and mercy will be upon them. They will all belong to God, they will prosper, and they will be blessed. He will help them all, light will shine upon them, and he will make peace with them. And behold, he comes with 10,000 of his holy ones to execute judgment upon everyone, to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of the deeds of ungodliness they have committed, and of all the harsh things that ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Observe now everything that happens in heaven, how the celestial bodies do not change their orbits, and how the stars and planets in the sky all rise and set in order, each in its season, never deviating from their appointed paths. Look at the earth and pay attention to everything that takes place from beginning to end, how steadfast and unchanging they are. All of God's works are evident to you. Consider the summer and winter, how the entire earth is filled with water, and how clouds, dew, and rain cover it. Notice how, in winter, all the trees seem to wither and shed their leaves, except for 14 trees that do not lose their foliage. These trees keep their old leaves for 2 to 3 years until the new ones come. And again, observe the days of summer, how the sun is high above the earth. You seek shade and shelter because of the sun's heat, and the earth becomes so hot that you cannot walk on it or on a rock without discomfort. See how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Take note of all his works and recognize that he who lives forever has made them this way. All his works continue like this from year to year, and all their tasks are accomplished without change, just as God has ordained. Observe how the sea and rivers also fulfill their roles without changing from his commandments. When the children of men multiplied, beautiful and comely daughters were born to them. The angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after the daughters of men. They said to one another, "Come, let us choose wives from among the children of men and have children with them." Samyaza, their leader, said to them, "I fear you will not agree to do this, and I alone will have to bear the great sin." They all responded to him, saying, "Let us all swear an oath and bind ourselves with mutual curses not to abandon this plan, but to carry it out." Then they all swore together and bound themselves with mutual curses. There were 200 of them in total who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, which they named because they had sworn and bound themselves with mutual curses there. These are the names of their leaders: Samlazaz, their leader, Arakulba, Ramil, Kokablel, Tamlel, Ramlel, Danel, Ezekiel, Barakijal, Asael, Amaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zachiel, Samsapil, Satarel, Turel, Jomjael, and Sariel. These are their chiefs of tens. All the others, along with them, took wives for themselves, each choosing one. They began to be with them and defiled themselves with them. They taught them charms, enchantments, the cutting of roots, and made them familiar with plants. The women became pregnant and bore great giants, whose height was 3,000 meters, and they consumed all the resources of men. When men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. They began to sin against birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusations against the lawless ones. Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates, and revealed to them the metals of the earth and how to work them, as well as bracelets, ornaments, the use of antimony, the beautifying of the eyelids, all kinds of precious stones and coloring tinctures. Much godlessness arose, and they committed fornication, were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Samyaza taught enchantments and root cutting. Armaros taught how to resolve enchantments. Barakiel taught astrology. Kokabel taught about constellations. Ezekiel taught knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel taught the signs of the earth. Shamsiel taught the signs of the sun, and Sariel taught the course of the moon. As men perished, they cried out, and their cries reached heaven. Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw the great bloodshed and lawlessness on earth. They said to one another, "The earth, devoid of inhabitants, cries out with the voices of the people up to the gates of heaven. Now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men plead, saying, 'Bring our case before the Most High.'" They said to the Lord of the ages, "Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of your glory stands through all generations of the ages. Your name is holy, glorious, and blessed for all eternity. You have made all things, and you have power over all things. Everything is visible and open before you, and nothing can hide from you. You see what Azazel has done, teaching all unrighteousness on earth and revealing the eternal secrets that were kept in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Samyaza, to whom you gave authority to lead his associates, has done likewise. They have gone to the daughters of men on earth, slept with the women, defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, filling the whole earth with blood and unrighteousness. Now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying out, making their way to the gates of heaven. Their lamentations have ascended and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds committed on earth. You know all things before they happen. You see these things and allow them, but you do not tell us what we should do about them. Then God the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spoke and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech. He said, "Go to Noah and tell him in my name, hide yourself. Reveal to him that the end is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a flood is about to come upon the whole earth and destroy everything on it. Instruct him so that he may escape, and his descendants may be preserved for all generations of the world." And again the Lord said to Raphael, "Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness. Make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudael, and throw him in. Place upon him rough and jagged rocks, cover him with darkness, and let him remain there forever. Cover his face so that he may not see light. On the day of the great judgment, he shall be cast into the fire. Heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, so that the plague may be healed, and the children of men may not perish from all the secret things the watchers have disclosed and taught their sons. The whole earth has been corrupted by the works taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. The Lord said to Gabriel, Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication. Destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from among men. Send them against each other, so that they may destroy each other in battle. They will not have long lives. No request that they or their fathers make shall be granted. They hope to live an eternal life, with each one living for 500 years. The Lord said to Michael, Go, bind Samyaza and his associates who have united with women and defiled themselves with their impurity. After their sons have killed one another and they have witnessed the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth until the day of their judgment and consummation, when the eternal judgment is finalized. In those days they shall be led to the abyss of fire, to the torment and prison where they will be confined forever. Whoever is condemned and destroyed will be bound with them until the end of all generations. Destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, for they have wronged mankind. Remove all wickedness from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end. Let the root of righteousness and truth appear, bringing blessings. The works of righteousness and truth shall be established in truth and joy forevermore. The first book of Enoch details the sins of humanity, the anger of the Holy One toward them, and the holy judgment pronounced through the flood, which resulted in the shortening of man's lifespan. The second book of Enoch describes Enoch's ascent to the holy mountains of God. ***, how Enoch ascended to heaven. At the age of 365, Enoch was taken from the earth and was no more. During his journey to the hills of the Most High, he describes passing through the 10 heavens. The second book of Enoch, discovered in the early 19th century, recounts his experiences. After leaving his family, Enoch was carried on the wings of an angel to the first heaven and placed on the clouds. Looking higher, he saw the ether. The angels showed him the sea above, which was greater than the earthly sea. He was also shown 200 angels who rule the stars, the treasure houses of snow and dew, and how clouds come and go. He saw the guardian angels of these treasure houses and how they open and close. Then he was taken to the second heaven, where the angels showed him a darkness greater than any on earth. He saw prisoners hanging, awaiting their judgment. These imprisoned angels appeared dark and were weeping. When he asked why they were imprisoned, he was told they had abandoned God's commandments and acted according to their own will, thus their imprisonment. Their prince was also imprisoned, but he was bound in the fifth heaven, not the second. Next, he was taken to the third heaven, where he saw paradise and the tree of life. According to some Jewish writings, there is a Garden of Eden in the heavens as well. He saw 300 angels tending the garden and praising God. The angels explained to him that this garden was prepared for the righteous, for those who turn away from iniquity, make just decisions, give bread to the hungry, clothe the naked, raise the fallen, help injured orphans, walk blamelessly before God, and serve Him alone. This eternal inheritance was prepared for them. Then he was shown a terrible place to the north of this garden, a place of torment, darkness, and gloom, with both fire and ice. Merciless angels with weapons and a river of fire were also there. The angels explained that this place was prepared for those who dishonor God, practice unnatural sins like the Sodomites, engage in magic, enchantments, and witchcraft, boast of their wicked deeds, steal, make false or defamatory statements, and are envious, hateful, bitter, fornicators, murderers, and soul stealers. This place is prepared for those who rob the poor to make themselves rich, who injure others to steal from them, who let the hungry die despite being able to feed them, and who strip the naked despite being able to clothe them. It is for those who do not acknowledge their Creator and instead worship lifeless idols, as well as those who create these idols. For all such people, this place of torment was prepared. Then the angels took him to the fourth heaven, where he could see the movements of the sun and moon. He observed the circle of the sun, its wheels, and how it is accompanied by stars and angels. He also saw other flying elements of the sun, such as phoenixes, which are also known as seraphim and cherubim. These beings, described in the second book of Enoch, have feet and tails like a lion, heads like a crocodile, and an empurpled appearance like a rainbow. Their size is 900 measures, and their wings, each having 12, are like those of angels. They attend and accompany the sun, bearing heat and dew. When he was taken to the fifth heaven, he saw countless soldier angels called Grigori, also known as Watchers, who appeared human. They were larger than giants, their faces were withered, and they were silent. Enoch was surprised to see no worship service to God in this heaven and asked the angels why. They explained that these angels were the same ones who listened to their prince, Satan, and descended to take human wives, corrupting the earth with their deeds. They caused lawlessness and mixing, leading to the birth of giants. Therefore, God judged these fallen ones with a severe judgment, and for this, the soldier angels wept. He was then taken to the sixth heaven, where he saw 7 bands of bright and glorious angels. There were no differences in their faces, behavior, or manner of dress. These angels were learning how the celestial objects work and about the governance of the world. These were the archangels who were above other angels and appointed over seasons and years, as well as over rivers and the sea, recording all the souls of men and their deeds. He was then lifted to the 7th heaven, where he saw a very great light and fiery troops of great archangels. He also saw incorporeal forces, dominions, orders and governments, cherubim and seraphim, and the thrones of the many-eyed ones. There were 9 units of the heavenly army and stations of light. He was terrified at the sight and began trembling. The angels took him and reassured him not to fear, showing him the throne of God from afar. They explained that the throne of God was located in the 10th heaven. At this point, the angels left him as commanded. Enoch became frightened to be left alone, but soon the archangel Gabriel came, took him, and placed him before God. Enoch then saw the 8th heaven, which governs the changing seasons, drought, humidity, and the 12 constellations of the firmament. He also saw the 9th heaven, where the abodes of the 12 constellations are located. When he was taken to the throne of God, he fell before him, and God told him to rise and stand. His garments were then changed into garments of glory, and he was anointed with God's anointing. Upon this transformation, he realized he looked like one of God's glorious beings. Enoch was then given the task of a scribe to record the souls of mankind and the places prepared for them for eternity. He was also taught many secrets of heaven and earth. God explained to him how he created heaven, earth, and all that exists within them. God's description of the creation days highlights the 7th day as a day of rest, which can be compared to the 1,000-year reign of Christ in the 7th millennium. It's said that the 8th millennium will be different from the previous 7 because time will no longer exist. God then instructed Enoch to share all he had written with the sons of men so that the earth would know him. God said that worthless seed had sprung up on the earth who neither fear him nor bow down to him. Instead, this seed worships lifeless idols and denies his unity, polluting the world with lies, offenses, abominable lusts, and all manner of unclean wickedness. God revealed to Enoch that he had decided to destroy the earth with a flood due to the rampant wickedness on earth. He also prophesied that from the remaining seed, another generation would arise in the distant future, to whom the writings of Enoch would be entrusted. This subsequent generation would pass on these writings to another, which would derive even greater blessings from them than the previous one. God granted Enoch 30 days to remain on earth and acquaint people with these writings, after which he would be taken back to the heavens. Enoch was assigned 2 guardian angels, the same ones who had guided him through the different heavens, and then returned to his bed on earth. The 30-day sojourn on earth. Upon his return, Enoch summoned all his children to hear his message. He explained how he had been enlightened about the workings of celestial bodies and other heavenly matters. He mentioned witnessing the guardians of hell, likening them to formidable serpents with fiery eyes and sharp teeth. He also observed the deeds of humanity, noting the varying degrees of goodness and badness among them. He recognized that different individuals were esteemed for different virtues, yet emphasized that none would be more esteemed than those who fear God, as they would be more glorified in the future. He warned that those who unjustly vent their anger or disdain upon others would face God's severe judgment. Conversely, he proclaimed blessings upon those who harbor no ill will in their hearts toward others and actively assist the afflicted and downtrodden. Blessed are those who uplift the downtrodden and extend charity to the needy, for on the day of the great judgment, every action and deed will be scrutinized meticulously. Just as goods are weighed and measured in the marketplace, so too will every individual's deeds be evaluated. Each person will receive their just reward according to their actions. The most recent version of the Book of Enoch is closer to our time than it is to the era of Enoch himself. What significance does this hold for us? The magnificent Book of the Palaces. According to contemporary scholars, the third book of Enoch is attributed to Rabbi Ishmael, who, through visions of ascension to heaven, obtained profound insights. However, it's noted that he couldn't have served as a high priest of Israel, as he was born after the siege of Jerusalem and the subsequent destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE. An alternative possibility for authorship could be attributed to the earlier Tanna Ishmael ben Elisha, who lived through the siege of Jerusalem. Despite the presence of Greek and Latin words, the original language of the third Enoch seems to have been Hebrew. Although there is speculation that the third book of Enoch was written in the 2nd century, it likely originated in or near Babylon, with its final editing probably occurring in the 5th or 6th century. The third book of Enoch depicts Enoch's transformation into the archangel Metatron. Despite the name sounding more like a transformer than an angel to some, according to certain beliefs, Metatron is considered the most potent angel in heaven. Metatron holds significant status in Jewish tradition, as well as in some Christian, Islamic, and occult traditions. Some view him as a once human angel granted the privilege to behold the presence of God as his scribe and mediator between God and Israel. However, there are several complexities surrounding the concept of Metatron. Metatron is referenced in passages found within the Babylonian Talmud, mystical Kabbalistic texts, and the apocryphal books of Enoch. The Talmud stands as a pivotal text in Judaism, comprising discussions and commentary on Jewish history, law, and customs. Initially transmitted orally, it was eventually compiled and transcribed in the 2nd century AD, known as the Mishnah. Subsequent commentaries on the Mishnah form the Gemara, constituting the second part of the Talmud. The Babylonian Talmud, completed in the 5th century AD, contains references to Metatron. According to these sources, Metatron was once a mortal named Enoch, as mentioned in the book of Genesis, recognized for his faithful walk with God. However, in alternative interpretations, Metatron is depicted as never having been human and not originating from Enoch. Enoch, according to these writings, was elevated to heaven without experiencing death. There, he underwent a transformation into the angel Metatron and was enthroned beside God's own throne. He rose to a position second only to God in terms of power, wisdom, and glory, commanding obedience from all other angels. According to legend, Metatron belongs to an exclusive cadre of angels permitted to behold the countenance of God. He serves as a celestial scribe and acts as an advocate or heavenly priest for the people, bridging the gap between Israel and God. One tale even attributes Israel's guidance through the wilderness to Metatron. The tale of Metatron has persisted in occult and New Age circles. According to a popular tarot site, Enoch or Metatron ascended to the angelic realm through unwavering faith and exemplary conduct. The site further elaborates that in this context, Archangel Metatron holds significant sway in the New Age movement as he symbolizes humanity's potential for spiritual ascension and access to divine power. Recently, 2 additional books attributed to Enoch have been unearthed, promising fresh insights into ancient wisdom and potentially unsettling revelations. The discovery of these texts has sparked considerable interest and speculation among scholars and enthusiasts alike. The books claim to offer further glimpses into the life, teachings, and prophecies of Enoch, a figure shrouded in mystery and revered in various religious and esoteric traditions. Enoch is known for his righteousness, his close relationship with the divine, and his apocalyptic visions. Given the significance of the existing Book of Enoch, which provides a window into ancient Jewish thought, cosmology, and angelology, the emergence of new texts attributed to him is a momentous event. These newfound manuscripts could shed light on hitherto unknown aspects of Enoch's story and expand our understanding of the spiritual and cosmological beliefs of his time. However, the prospect of what these newly discovered books might reveal has also stirred apprehension. The title's suggestion that their contents could evoke fear implies that they may contain unsettling or ominous prophecies, apocalyptic warnings, or revelations about the nature of existence and the divine plan. Given the historical and religious significance of the figure of Enoch and the enduring fascination with apocalyptic literature, the discovery of these additional texts holds both scholarly and popular interest. They may offer fresh perspectives on ancient beliefs and traditions, challenge existing interpretations, and fuel discussions about the nature of prophecy, spirituality, and the end times. As researchers delve into these newly discovered manuscripts and analyze their contents, we can expect debates, interpretations, and possibly controversies to arise. Whether these texts truly unveil startling truths or merely add to the rich tapestry of ancient wisdom, their discovery marks a significant milestone in our ongoing exploration of humanity's spiritual heritage. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore our other engaging videos.